Hello guys, in this video we talk about anime movie called I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Kimi no Sazongo. Tibet. It starts from Sakura is first seen at a library putting back books with Haruki Shiga. Once he notices her improper placement, he recommends her to learn about the codes more. Afterward, she begins to ramble on about superstition which stated that if an organ of yours was ill, consuming another's would cure you. Then, in a flashback, Haruki is seen in a hospital waiting room when he notices a peculiar book lying on a seat. Once he looks inside, he realizes whoever wrote it is a terminal illness and has 1 year left before their death. Out of nowhere comes Sakura somberly stating that the diary belongs to her and that her disease is causing her pancreas to fail. She dubs the diary living with dying and tells Haruki this. At his lack of reaction, she laughs at how unaffected he is by her soon-to-be death. The next day while working, she asks if he is free, demanding him to come to eat yakiniku and offal with him. She discusses topics with him about different foods that are her favorites. While walking through a market, the two notice a scuffle between an elderly woman and a rude young man. After she intervenes and scolds the man for being so rude, Sakura then launches a kick striking the man's crotch, causing the crowd to chuckle. Sakura then grabs Haruki as they begin to flee from the incoming authorities. At school the next day, Sakura is confronted by her best friend Kyoko Takimoto, who saw her having yakiniku and offal with Haruki. Assuming it was a date, Kyoko reminded Sakura that there are better boys in her league and she has the choice of dating almost whoever she likes. Sakura denies Kyoko's claim as she states it wasn't a date anyways. During their break time in school, Takahiro walks into the classroom. Approaching Sakura, he gifts her a super rare CD from one of her favorite bands as he heard her talk about it outside the store. Her friends remind her of who he is, with him being the class rep as well as being the center of attention when it comes to girls' crushes. Once the school day comes to an end, Sakura and Haruki go to a cafe, as they converse about how she recently broke up with a fellow classmate. Haruki joins Sakura on a trip. While on the train, Haruki asks how Sakura's parents even consented to the idea of this trip, with her revealing she tricked them. Although Haruki practically commits the same act, she states how sad it is to fake having friends. Sakura opens her diary and questions Haruki, asking for his name, which he replied with his full name. Arriving at the hotel, Sakura shouts at the front desk in shock after hearing that she and Haruki were booked into the same room, albeit a higher class one, as compensation. When Sakura asks for her facial lotion, having forgotten it before entering the bathroom, Haruki opens her bag and sees a plethora of medications and syringes. Despite this, he retrieves the lotion and gives it to her. Later, Haruki finishes up showering and came out of the bathroom with Sakura saying she bought cold drinks and offered him a glass. He took the glass, but after taking a sip of it, he realizes that it was alcohol. Sakura reveals a card game similar in nature to Truth or Dare, with her starting off asking who he finds attractive in their respective class. Haruki states he likes the girl who's good at math. When the next question asks how high Haruki would rate Sakura out of their classmates, he states she would be in third out of everyone he can remember. Haruki's turn comes as he asks what she was like as a kid, with her saying she was a bit of a problem child. This questioning continues as Haruki learns more about her, with her finally revolting, asking if this is an interview. During Sakura's next turn, she says she will present 2 predetermined choices, tell her 3 things he finds cute about her, or carry her to bed. Haruki quickly chooses to offer her his hands, but after being denied he proceeds to carry her as she blushes once he sets her down. With another turn for Sakura next, she first asks if she admitted to being scared of death. What would he do? Although Haruki flashes back to seeing a large amount of medication inside her purse and remains silent until finally stating to choose dare instead. She wants him to perform a dare with no objections. With that dare being, to sleep in the bed with her. On the train ride home the next day, Sakura asks Haruki if he had fun on the trip with him, saying yes. She then gains a shocked look as she didn't expect such an answer. Sakura brings Haruki to her house and tells him she would let him borrow one of her books, The Little Prince, which she has loved ever since a child. They then lounge and play various games. Haruki wanted to borrow The Little Prince and leave. As Haruki approaches the bookcase to search for the book, Sakura hugs him from behind, saying that before she dies she wants to commit a naughty act on someone she has no affiliation with. Haruki turns around in shock as Sakura prepares to kiss him. In the end, she backs away with her saying she was just joking around. Haruki then pins her arms down with her on the bed as he firmly grips her wrists. She then becomes very afraid and protests his sudden action. When she begins to cry saying stop, he seems to realize his wrongdoings with him running outside. He then runs into Takahiro, the class president, the same person who gifted her the CD. He questions why she fell for him as Haruki keeps saying that their relationship is not what he thinks. In a state of anger, he punches Haruki as Sakura comes running out and comes to Haruki's side once she sees his current state. Thinking he was helping her, Takahiro admits he was the one who punched Haruki, with Sakura saying she hates him. Takahiro is shocked, dumbfounded, and takes his leave soon after. Haruki says to Sakura that she should be with someone who truly cares about her and not him, as it was just a coincidence that they met. She refutes this, saying all the choices and decisions they made in their lifetime had brought them to meet one another. And that's why they are where they are, with it accompanied by an apology for her earlier actions. Sakura explains what life means to her. Many days pass as Haruki enters the hospital where Sakura is staying with him, seeing her dance. She becomes embarrassed, retreating to her bed as she states the only reason she is here is due to some numbers being off. They then begin playing with a set of cards as they discuss how the class thinks Haruki is stalking Sakura. She then stands up to look out the window with Haruki praising her for teaching him so many things as she hugs him. They are then walked in on Kyoko, who is angry after seeing them hugging. Sakura distracts her with a horde of greetings and questions, making sure Haruki gets to escape without being confronted by Kyoko. During the night, Haruki comes to the hospital and brings Sakura outside to see the festival fireworks. The fireworks then begin with Sakura seeming to enjoy them as they embrace each other in the form of a warm hug. Sakura then promises to go to the beach with him once discharged. They set to meet at a cafe on the day she discharges. Haruki arrives at the cafe the day when she discharged and waits for her. He receives several texts from her that results in a short conversation with the two via text. Haruki considers what to type for a while and contemplates how much he has changed because of her. He typed out, "I wish I can brew a potion from the dirt under your nails," but then quickly deletes his text and wonders what would fit better. Finally concluding with him typing, "I want to eat your pancreas," and sending the message. Sakura did not reply for a short while and failed to meet up with Haruki at the cafe later that day. While watching a news story during dinner as Haruki wonders why Sakura was absent, the new report showed Sakura on the screen as a victim of homicide, with her being stabbed in the chest, lying unconscious on the ground. A rescue attempt by the ambulance was in vain and she deceased. Sakura's funeral happens the next day with many in attendance to mourn the sudden loss, with Haruki being absent. Haruki visited Sakura's household and meets her mother, who gives her Sakura's living with dying. While reading Sakura's book left by her, she reveals she truly cared for Haruki and would cry after being with him. Haruki then reads her farewell when in a dream-like setting, having some symbolism and imagery of the Little Prince. He envisions Sakura as she describes their relationship and why it was so special to her. After such vivid descriptions, she then says she would like to brew a potion from the dirt under his nails. But she thought the words were not enough to describe how important he was to her, so she confesses that I want to eat your pancreas. Haruki quickly asks Sakura's mother to see her phone, then checking the messages she had received, and realized she did actually see his message of I want to eat your pancreas. In the last scene, Haruki and Kyoka visit Sakura's grave.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.